from Brisbane, 7 News with Kendall Gilding.
Good afternoon. Our top stories this Friday. 3 men killed and a woman critically injured in a fiery crash at Chinchilla. Queensland continues to keep a tight lid on COVID cases as New South Wales moves to ease restrictions even further. A $60 billion error. The government reveals a big mistake with the JobKeeper scheme. And Target trouble. Stores set to close and 1,000 jobs at risk. First at 4, police are trying to determine the cause of a fiery car crash which has killed 3 people on the Western Downs. Ashley Whitaker reports.
Emergency services were called here just before 6 o'clock last night. Police say the Holden Commodore slammed into a tree before bursting into flames. The tree was reduced to splinters.
There were 5 occupants in the vehicle and unfortunately 3 of those occupants have died at the scene.
Among the victims, 2 men from Tara, aged 35 and 36, and a 40-year-old man from Dalby. Police are investigating whether speed and wet road conditions were factors in the crash.
It would appear that the vehicle has overtaken another car at speed. They've travelled a short way further down the road. The vehicle has lost control.
The female driver survived but is in a critical condition in the Princess Alexandra Hospital in Brisbane. A 4th man, the front seat passenger, managed to pull her out of the wreckage. First responders say the horrific scene was one of the toughest they've been to.
QAS are definitely well versed in multi-casualty incidents, and that's unfortunately the case sometimes of managing what patients you have there and who's able to be assisted.
Casey Porter was one of the men killed in the crash. His fiancée, Tamika Jane Thornton, is devastated.
He's actually a loving, caring, kind partner, wonderful to the kids.
Police are asking anyone with information to come forward.
Treasury has revealed a significant error in the government's JobKeeper scheme worth a staggering $60 billion. Labor says it's another shambles from the government which could have massive implications. Olivia Leeming has more.
It's being described as a reporting error with a significant impact to the cost of the JobKeeper scheme. Treasury and the Tax Office have revealed around 1,000 businesses made an error when filling out their applications for the payment for workers. Instead of writing the number of their employees, they wrote 1,500, the amount they expected them to receive. Having discovered the mistake, the number of Australians receiving the subsidy has been revised down from 6.5 million to just 3.5 million, and the cost to the taxpayer far less, now just $70 billion instead of $130 billion. It means the government suddenly has $60 billion left over, but it's yet to reveal how it might spend the money, if at all. We're already seeing calls for it to be used to extend JobKeeper to some of those workers originally left out, including casuals if they've been with their employer for less than a year. The error could also impact the economic outlook for Australia, given that's been based on the government spending $130 billion on this scheme. As well, we're yet to learn what it means for the unemployment rate. That's been calculated based on the assumption more than 6 million Australians are on JobKeeper. We now know it's far less.
Queensland is leading the eastern states in the fight against coronavirus, recording the lowest number of overnight cases yet again. But despite this, our southern neighbours are pushing ahead with plans to relax restrictions, opening restaurants and pubs to larger numbers. Joel Dry has more.
For the second day in a row, Queensland has recorded no new COVID-19 cases overnight. The state's total of active cases remains at just 12. Compare that with New South Wales, who had 2 fresh cases overnight. 1, sadly, new death to add to the total, and their active case number sits at just below 400. However, this afternoon, the New South Wales Premier has announced that from June 1, pubs, restaurants and cafes will allow 50 people to dine in those venues, all seated, adhering to social distancing. However, that is a much larger number than our own roadmap to recovery here in Queensland allows for.
Now, we know this is a big step, but the regulations and rules we'll be putting in place will be very strict to make sure safety is paramount.
The announcement is sure to continue to fire the state-based rivalries, particularly surrounding borders, with Queensland refusing to budge on opening up the state to free travel. But there are continuing signs of recovery. Last night, a Qatar Airways flight touched down in Brisbane. That airline is recommencing regular flights into the Sunshine State. And to aid this recovery, the Deputy Prime Minister, Michael McCormack, has announced a $1.8 billion fund that will be directed at local councils right across the country to get projects to get jobs started and the lives of Australians back underway.
Cruise ships will be banned from entering Australian waters until at least September. Australian Border Force has announced it's extending the current restriction. Any vessel capable of carrying more than 100 passengers is prohibited from operating cruises in Australia. The ban was meant to come to an end in June, but has now been extended for another 3 months. There are currently no cruise ships left in our waters after the coronavirus-stricken Ruby Princess departed last month. Wesfarmers has announced a sweeping restructure of its Target stores, one that could cost more than 1,000 jobs. As Chris Marr reports, the group isn't blaming coronavirus, but says the pandemic hastened the shake-up.
Well, it's the first phase of what is a major overhaul of the struggling Target brand, which may affect up to 167 of its stores. Now, parent group Wesfarmers has announced drastic changes to its Target chain because of its unsustainable financial performance. The cut-price shops are described as well-loved but in need of real change. Up to 25 of the large format stores will close, 50 country Targets will shut. As many as 90 could be converted to the group's Kmart brand.
These changes are about making Kmart an even stronger business and a more compelling choice for customers.
It's expected 1,300 jobs will be lost. They may be redeployed, but the biggest concern is the effect on regional Target staff. Wesfarmers says the changes have not been forced by coronavirus, but they have been accelerated by it.
These decisions are in response to the ongoing structural change and disruption which has been occurring in the retail sector in recent years.
The cuts begin this year. The majority, though, take effect in 2021. The group's bosses say Target does have a future, but its focus now, it's clear, is on its successful Kmart brand and online sales.
Well, 2 more Queensland Myer stores reopened their doors today after nearly 2 months without customers. Outlets at Maroochydore and Mackay are part of trial openings ahead of 35 more stores reopening next Wednesday. The retail giant has ramped up safety and cleaning measures and suspended some close contact services like shoe fittings. Gold Coast businesses are reeling at the possibility of borders staying closed until September. Tourism operators are urging the state government to commit to an open date in July. Crystal Etherington has more.
Tourism bosses say several Gold Coast businesses will be forced to shut down if the borders remain closed until September. Hotels in Surfers Paradise have been told to prepare for guests and introduce new procedures.
It's trying to ensure not too many people are in lifts, cleaning everything a lot more.
But a majority of their clientele is banned from entering Queensland. Restaurants in Broadbeach are only just making enough to cover wages.
We're fighting and battling every day, like tooth and claw to make it.
The 10 people rule should be shifted to maybe 10 people inside, 10 people outside.
Businesses on the Queensland-New South Wales border are feeling the pain too.
I don't think my business will survive. We do rely on walk-by trade.
A lot of our client base is New South Wales.
City leaders want an open date set.
We're calling on the government to stick to the original plan. That is, open the borders from the 10th of July so that we can get tourism back in order.
What we need is for New South Wales to get their community transmission down. We're seeing 33 times the number of active cases in New South Wales as Queensland.
Gold Coast Tourism says if the border restrictions aren't relaxed until September, it'll cost the city an extra $500 million.
North Queensland politician Warren Entsch says he's not surprised a Chinese company has told the Lizard Island tourist resort to ignore COVID-19 restrictions and reopen. The leaseholder Sea Holdings is threatening legal action against the operator if the demand is not met.
I've got sympathy for both sides on this one, but Lizard Island is not alone. There are a lot of similar situations here, And, the longer we drag our heels, the worse it's going to get.
The state government's calling on the Hong Kong company to show some consideration and do the right thing. Donald Trump's refusal to wear a face mask in public has ignited a new row in the United States. It comes as he toured a Ford factory and only put on a mask behind the scenes. Ashley Mullaney reports.
The president's campaign rallies may be on hold for now, but his factory tours in battleground states are proving the next best thing. Donald Trump today in Michigan, where he faced more questions about his personal mask policy. Behind the scenes with executives at Ford's factory, he was snapped in a mask complete with a presidential seal, but defied the governor's orders and the company's policy to keep it on for the entire visit, telling the press he'd been tested earlier in the day.
I wore one in this back area, but I didn't want to give the press the pleasure of seeing it. I tested very positively in another sense. So this morning, I tested positively toward negative, right? So, no, I tested perfectly this morning, meaning I tested negative.
The president is eager to get Americans back to work, with unemployment figures today showing jobless claims hitting 38 million in just 9 weeks. But the virus is still spreading, with fears some hospitals are still facing a shortage of ICU beds. Days after announcing his plan to fast-track vaccine development with Operation Warp Speed and a commitment to work with other countries, promising signs of global cooperation, with the US pumping $1 billion into a vaccine program at the Oxford University in the UK, now moving ahead with human trials.
Well, let's get a check of today's weather now with Paul Burt.
Yeah, thanks for that, Kendall. Hello, everybody. Well, a little bit chilly outside this afternoon. Tonight's going to be very cold, particularly tomorrow. Now, we had some records broken, not across the southeast, very close at Toowoomba, 0.2 of a degree off. So I reckon we might see a little bit of a change with that one tomorrow, but definitely around Birdsville and also up there at Longreach. So the western areas did plummet today. Now, we're going to see that westerly cool breeze hitting us tomorrow as it comes through. So that's where we'll start to feel those really, really cool winter-type temperatures. Let's have a look at the beach, because if you are venturing down there, it's not sunbaking weather by any means, but it's great surfing. Wetsuits definitely required. Water temp still around 23 degrees. However, it's the wind chill factor that makes everything, of course, feel a little bit different. Now, definitely for those heading out there, those points and open stretches will be the go. Have a look at today's temperatures. It only hit 18 degrees, Sunshine Coast, Redlands, and also in the city, 19 degrees for Logan and Ipswich and the Gold Coast. But have a look at Toowoomba. Again, 11 degrees at top today. And Kendall, cooler weather for tomorrow. I think I might go find my jacket. I'll see you in about another 40 minutes.
I was just about to say you're going to need a jumper as the sun sets. See you soon, Birdie. Rolling out the welcome mat. Teachers and parents get ready for all students to return to the classroom. 10 people were hurt when his car careered into a shop. What happened to the driver? And what happens when royalty turns up to bingo night?
On 7 News, shopping shake-up, Target stores to close or convert to Kmart. Stupidity on southeast roads, the exclusive videos. Game-changing rules for when children's sport returns. Buy now or is it a trap? Expert advice on shares. And the nation's cold snap, the outlook for Queensland. 7 News at 6.
Bateman's Bay Fire Brigade stood on top of that roof and wouldn't let this burn.
All donated. People are amazing.
Join Dr. Harry and see how our heartland is healing.
You give me a second chance.
New Better Homes, tonight on 7.
Pocket watch. Nobody's got time for that.
This Saturday with Sportsbet at 3 tracks for races 1 to 6, finish second or third and get up to $50 back in bonus bets. That's 18 races with Sportsbet.
Relax and entertain in style with our fresco doors from Doors Plus. Bring the outside inside with bifold stackers and sliders in natural timber or durable aluminium. Visit a showroom to see the range and book your free measure and quote. Doors Plus, no fuss.
We're coming to you live from the scene. Tell us what you've got there. Toilet paper?
Nah, just dinner stuff.
Right. You must have paid an unprecedented price for that during these unprecedented times.
Nah, they're from Aldi. Prices are always low.
Let's just go.
Whatever happens, our low prices are here to stay.
Aldi. Good. Different.
Dear mind, you're so good at caring for everyone else. But caring for you is important too. So take time to lose yourself in a book. And in the moment, learn something new. But above all, be kind to yourself. All my love, me.
Create a healthier relationship with your mind. Learn more at qld.gov.au/mental wellbeing. Authorised by the Queensland Government, Brisbane.
This Saturday with Sportsbet, get the best payout across all 3 tabs with top-toed exotics. Nail a quinella, trifecta or even a quaddie and you'll get the biggest return. Top-toed exotics from Sportsbet.
Join AHM Hospital and Extras Direct and you'll get 6 weeks free. Plus, we'll waive any 2 and 6 month waits on extras. Yay! Whether you're a single, a couple, or a family. It's that simple. That doesn't look very simple. Offer ends June 30. Find out more and join AHM Direct today. AHM, the simple bit.
Alright Australia, so you need more energy and a better night's sleep. Meet the revolutionary Sleeping Duck mattress taking Australia by storm. It's the next generation mattress reimagined by aerospace engineers to give you the best energy, health and sleep benefits possible, even making history by becoming the first mattress ever to win Choice's Best Overall Mattress 2 years in a row. It comes manufacturer direct, free of markup. And that means you can get incredible quality with incredible value. That's Sleeping Duck, one giant leap for your sleep.
What does being the #1 tennis player in the world taste like? Well, I don't know. It's kind of a little bit something like it would be. Yeah, that's it. Vegemite. Tastes like Australia.
Pocket watch. Nobody's got time for that.
This Saturday with Sportsbet at 3 tracks for races 1 to 6, finish 2nd or 3rd and get up to $50 back in bonus bets. That's 18 races with Sportsbet.
A man accused of a violent attempted carjacking on the Gold Coast will remain behind bars. Albert Hope and his female passenger were arrested yesterday after allegedly crashing a stolen BMW into a tram. The pair then tried to flee by threatening a woman with a fake gun, demanding she help them escape. Hope was tackled by a resident who heard the woman scream, then arrested by police and charged with multiple offences. He'll be back in court next month. The driver of a car which crashed into a Sydney shop injuring 10 people is set to be charged. Andrew Denny reports.
Well, after letting the driver involved in yesterday's smash go in the early hours of this morning, police then dramatically rearrested him this afternoon. He's being questioned here at Bankstown Police Station. The 51-year-old Lakemba man was taken into custody at a home in Greenacre just after 1 p.m. He was, of course, the driver at the centre of yesterday's crash into the Hijab House clothing store that left 14 people injured. He was filmed ramming into cars at the traffic lights, spinning and smoking his wheels and shunting those cars out of the way before ploughing into the shops. We spoke with the owner earlier today, who says he's amazed that no one was killed.
I saw the counter had completely been flattened and kind of destroyed. We had staff members behind that counter. We had 2 staff members as well as customers in front of it. To me, it was a miracle that people survived.
The question now is why police arrested this man only hours after letting him go. They were originally trying to figure out if he'd suffered a medical episode behind the wheel, but now say charges are expected. A doctor who ran in and helped yesterday described his state for us.
He was not injured. There was no blood in him. I didn't see he was screaming or asking for help. He was just sitting in shock. And I don't think he needed any help.
Now, we are expecting an update from police a little later this afternoon, and we'll bring you those details as soon as they come to hand.
Students across Queensland are spending their last day homeschooling before all grades return on Monday. As Katrina Blowers reports, a new study has found a concerning impact of students learning from home.
Good afternoon. Well, in case you're wondering why I'm outside a bottle shop, it's because visits here have dramatically spiked since homeschooling began. An Australian study today finding 1 in 5 parents has admitted to drinking daily since lockdown began. But that all changes come Monday, with school students getting ready to return. Years 2 to 10 are back and parents and students are rejoicing.
There's been pros and there's been cons. It's been lovely having time as a family.
The return of school will also mean saying goodbye to the quieter roads.
We know that people are probably not going to go back to work in the same way they retreated from public transport in the first instance. We're going to see some people still working from home.
Parents are being told there'll be extra cleaning in classrooms and to not congregate on school grounds, because while students don't have to socially distance, teachers and other adults do. And we'll have more tips for any parents who might be feeling a little bit anxious. That's all at 7 News at 6.
The Duke and Duchess of Cambridge have shown off their bingo calling skills. The Royals hosted a surprise bingo game for residents of an aged care home in Wales. The pair took turns calling out the numbers before chatting with some of the carers and residents.
One little duck, number 2.
The surprise call was one of many the couple have been making as they try to keep up spirits during the coronavirus lockdown. There were suggestions of a conflict of interest with a US businesswoman. Will Prime Minister Boris Johnson be facing a criminal probe? She pleaded guilty, but will this Hollywood actress end up in jail? And it's getting chilly, an early start to snow season down south.
For every new picture, for every new story.
The man and woman were arrested at the scene.
The teams then crashed into a ute before finally losing control.
There are questions that must be answered.
At the end of all this, what do you think Queensland is going to be like?
Every night, 7 News brings you the total picture.
The People's Day public holiday has been moved.
The full story, the answers you need. Turn to 7 News at 6 o'clock.
The racing is back.
Elected a half in front. He thrashes it, takes the lead.
See it all today, live and free on 7.
Relax and entertain in style with our fresco doors from Doors Plus. Bring the outside inside with bifold stackers and sliders in natural timber or durable aluminium. Visit a showroom to see the range and book your free measure and quote. Doors Plus, no fuss.
Check out this offer at Randwick, Flemington and Eagle Farm this Saturday on races 1 to 6. If your horse runs 2nd or 3rd, get a bonus bet back up to $50. That's 18 races. Check out the app. Tab. Long may we play.
Gamble responsibly.
I drive a lot. I build stuff, pull things, push things, and I hit things. And then I carry stuff.
What do you do again?
I drive a Hilux.
Australia's #1 selling vehicle, 4 years running. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
MLC donated this 30-second ad to Lifeline. Because every 30 seconds, someone in crisis calls Lifeline. Which means now, more than ever, they need people at the other end of the line. So please, give what you can at lifeline.org.au. Because for people in crisis, every second counts.
Rugby league hard man Corey Parker has won it all. He doesn't do gags, he doesn't do pranks, but he does play KFC Supercoach. Register today at supercoach.com.au.
Since 1880, the Salvos have been proud to stand with anyone doing it tough. Now, more than ever, please help us leave no one in need. If you're able, please give to the Red Shield Appeal at salvationarmy.org.au.
We remain dedicated to helping Australians. We've introduced a help program with a range of relief options to assist customers currently in need. Call us to find out how we can tailor help options for you.
Have you ever solved a murder? In June's Journey, you can. Refresh your mind with clever puzzles amidst the glamour of the 1920s. Are you up to the challenge? Download June's Journey now for free.
Check out this offer at Randwick, Flemington and Eagle Farm this Saturday on races 1 to 6. If your horse runs 2nd or 3rd, get a bonus bet back up to $50. That's 18 races. Check out the app. Tab. Long may we play.
Gamble responsibly.
You know you'll make a great mum one day.
Wise men say. You know, I had the weirdest cravings when I was pregnant with you. Pickles and ice cream. Oh, if I falling in love with you.
Buy now, or is it a trap? What mum and dad investors need to know before rushing into shares, the risks and ways to grow your family savings. Tonight on 7 News.
British Prime Minister Boris Johnson has escaped a criminal investigation into his relationship with a US businesswoman when he was the Mayor of London. He failed to disclose the friendship, leading to accusations of a conflict of interest. Hugh Whitfeld has more.
Boris Johnson has always denied any claims of impropriety during his time as Mayor of London, but this issue has dogged him for the last couple of months. The review was launched just before the general election last year. US businesswoman Jennifer Arcuri runs a tech company. While Boris Johnson was Mayor, she managed to secure about $250,000 worth of government grants and contracts and accompanied the then Mayor on trips overseas, trade missions to places like Singapore, Malaysia, New York and Tel Aviv. Both Boris Johnson and Jennifer Arcuri have refused to confirm or deny whether they were having an affair, but this review has found it is likely they were having an intimate relationship, and it may have led to officers who granted these monies to think it was a good idea to ensure that Ms Arcuri did receive a favourable attention. Nonetheless, this review has found that Boris Johnson hasn't done anything worth a criminal investigation, but he does face a further probe by the London Assembly that's looking into whether he always acted with honesty and integrity while he was Mayor.
There are fears new national security laws proposed by China could spark fresh violence in Hong Kong. Unrest in the region has taken a backseat to coronavirus in recent months, but that could all change with the Communist Party hinting at tightening its grip on Hong Kong.
It's the saddest state in Hong Kong history. It confirms one country, one system. It's so clear that it's a huge setback.
China has described the move as improving the law of Hong Kong. Hollywood actress Lori Loughlin and her husband could spend time behind bars after pleading guilty to bribing college officials to get their 2 daughters enrolled. They're facing 2 and 5 months in prison respectively as part of a plea deal. But lawyers say the pair could even avoid jail time due to the coronavirus pandemic. In the UK, fundraising hero Captain Sir Thomas More has thanked a Russian war veteran who knitted and mailed him socks. The 97-year-old launched her own effort to raise funds for the families of Russian doctors and nurses who have died of COVID-19 after seeing a video of Moore's charity walk.
You've inspired her to fundraise in Russia. You've always done your best and she thinks that you're amazing.
The video call was coordinated by their daughters. Well, it may be chilly in Queensland, but in New South Wales there have been early snowfalls. Residents of the Blue Mountains were delighted at the sight, with more snow forecast over the coming days. Further south, ski resorts say it would be a bumper season if not for COVID-19 and associated travel restrictions. We'll say goodbye to our Gold Coast viewers now. You're off to the chase. Amanda Abate has your local news at 5:30. For the rest of Queensland, is now the time to buy or not? New advice if you're in the market for a car. It's been a volatile ride in the share market of late. When should you dip a toe in? And a Lamington drive in London for the Aussie heroes on the COVID frontline.
On 7 News, shopping shake-up, Target stores to close or convert to Kmart. Stupidity on southeast roads, the exclusive videos. Game-changing rules for when children's sport returns. Buy now or is it a trap? Expert advice on shares. And the nation's cold snap, the outlook for Queensland. 7 News at 6.
As you're waking,
country emerges from hibernation.
there's one sure way to know you're across what's unfolding. It's on Sunrise.
When will domestic travel be on the cards again?
Bringing you what's important.
An influx of commuters emerge.
Breaking down the headlines.
There's some really, really capable people out there who've lost their jobs.
Connecting you with our decision makers.
Relations between Australia and China appear pretty dire.
The team Australia turns to are on Sunrise.
Win your town's $1.69 million prize home draw. Choose Country Coastal Living in Berry on New South Wales South Coast or Magical Umundi on the Sunshine Coast. Only 400,000 tickets available at $15 each. Buy now at yourtown.com.au.
More home loan brokers with more ways to help you, giving you even more reasons to smile wherever you are. Talk to me or your broker today.
Harvey Norman, your premium Optus dealer. Receive a $700 Harvey Norman gift card when you sign up to a new service on the Optus $65 per month SIM-only plan for 24 months with 80 gigabytes of data for use in Oz. That's right. Sign up to a new service on the $65 per month 24-month Optus SIM-only plan and you'll receive a $700 Harvey Norman gift card. Offer ends June 30. New services only, not available with other offers. Harvey Norman, your premium Optus dealer.
Introducing Jumpstart by Light and Easy, the simple program that will help fast-track your weight loss success, improve your health, and have your taste buds jumping for joy. Jumpstart your weight loss and health goals today with Light and Easy.
With Belong, you get 10 gigs of mobile data for $25 a month. That's 10 gigs of family time, plus unlimited international calls and texts to selected countries for $5 extra. Together, we're different. Belong.
It's LTV for me.
It's LTV for me.
More and more people are saying it's LTV for me because the LTV T60 4x4 diesel is from just $27,490 drive away. And eligible businesses may be able to claim the government instant asset write-off. Hurry, offer ends May 31.
Live from Brisbane, 7 News with Kendall Gilding.
Welcome back. Today's main stories. 3 men have been killed and a woman is in a critical condition after a car exploded into flames after crashing into a tree at Chinchilla. Treasury has revealed a $60 billion error in the federal government's JobKeeper scheme. Labor says it's a shambles which could have massive implications. And as many as 167 Target stores will be closed or rebranded as Kmart in a sweeping restructure which may put more than 1,000 jobs at risk. There's fresh hope families could find answers to cases which remain open, including the death of Jeffrey Brooks, who was found shot dead on a Beanley crayfish farm in 1996. The scientist's parents believe he was murdered. Now, new legislation will give coroners greater powers to make witnesses answer questions they once refused. It could mean a second inquest into Jeffrey's death. Tonight at 6, we speak to Jeffrey's parents about their fight to find the truth. At least 85 people have been killed and thousands of homes are destroyed as Cyclone Amphan caused devastation in India and Bangladesh. It's the most powerful cyclone to strike the region in 20 years. The super cyclone blew off roofs and flooded streets, leaving millions without power. Rescue and clean-up efforts are underway. A man who recorded the fatal shooting of a jogger in the US has been arrested on suspicion of murder. William Bryan witnessed the deadly encounter in February and has denied being part of the confrontation that led to Ahmaud Arbery's death. A father and son were arrested earlier this month in connection with the case. Both have been charged with murder. Last month was one car dealers would rather forget, with sales down and many new and used vehicles left gathering dust. But industry experts say there's never been a better time to buy.
David Vincent has been in the used car game for almost 20 years. In that time, he's faced plenty of tough times, but nothing quite like the COVID pandemic. He went from selling 60 cars a week to just 10.
The inquiry just literally stopped. We didn't expect it to happen as dramatically and as quickly as it did.
With the bills piling up, there was only one option.
We've had to drop the prices. A lot of these cars have been reduced to what we paid for them pre-COVID.
April has been a torrid month for the industry as a whole. Some dealerships have shut, others, like David's, have been forced to shed staff. New car sales have fallen especially hard by almost 50% compared to the same time last year. But if you're looking to buy, experts say there's never been a better time.
Either buy a vehicle, service or repair a vehicle, because there is availability and there is stock.
But the industry's fortunes may be looking up. Carsales.com says its own survey of almost 3,000 Australians shows that social distancing is making us rethink the use of busy public transport. It found 60% of people who don't own a car are now more likely to consider buying one.
They want to use their transport, their mode of transport, as a sort of mobile quarantine, basically.
Tim Hatfield, 7 News.
The Australian share market took a big hit when the COVID-19 pandemic came along. It saw Australians sell shares to begin with and then flock back to invest again when the prices were down. Steve Titmus has more.
Good afternoon. Keyboard frenzy during COVID-19 has turned Australia into a world leader. Google data shows we rank first for the search term buy shares.
Especially with prices having fallen significantly during coronavirus.
An example of how shares have gone during COVID is buy now, pay later platform Afterpay. Its shares have gone from below $10 to $44. Blue chips have been popular, like the big banks BHP and Qantas.
For me, I like to stick with sectors that I understand.
Coming up tonight on 7 News at 6, we speak to a lady who has struck gold buying and selling shares during COVID-19 and the tips on how not to lose your money.
Well, let's check finance now with James Tao at CommSec. And James, how did the local share market close out the week?
Yeah, very good afternoon to you, Kendall. The Aussie market down today, unfortunately, for a second successive session. The ASX 200 ending in the red, down around 53 points, or just shy of 1%. But over the course of the week, still higher by about 1.7%. And it's now 4 consecutive weeks of gains for the Aussie market as well. So there are some good signs, of course, with those easing restrictions due to COVID-19, flattening of that particular curve. But what we're seeing as a new focal point is the tensions rising between the US and China, and that has investors just a little jittery as well. So today we saw pretty much every single sector in negative territory, led by energy and healthcare. The Aussie dollar also a little weaker, down to 65.3 US cents.
James Tao, thank you. Australia's High Commissioner to the UK has made a Lamington drive for Australians who are working in Britain's National Health Service. Almost 25% of London's paramedics are Australian, after British recruitment drives targeted highly trained health workers.
It's just a nice gesture to tell them how much we appreciate them.
Mate, it's unreal. It's unreal and greatly appreciated.
The Lamingtons also proved a huge treat for their British colleagues who had never tasted, let alone heard of a Lamington. Well, finding love can be a balancing act and is certainly difficult during these times of pandemic restrictions. But a Cairns business is encouraging people to take to the water to find romance, getting people to paddleboard to find a new friend while still keeping things at a social distance. Sports coming up next with Pat Welsh. Also, anger grows over plans to collect artefacts from the Titanic's resting place. And the Gold Coast kids helping to write 1,000 letters for isolated residents in aged care.
Buy now, or is it a trap? What mum and dad investors need to know before rushing into shares. The risks and ways to grow your family savings. Tonight on 7 News.
I'm your dad.
Is the bloke legit?
He says he is. Why'd you choose now to come and find me? You're just taking me for a ride.
When he finds out the true reason his dad's here, it could break his heart.
You need to tell him what's going on.
All I can do is protect him from me hurting him.
But that's exactly what you're doing. You know, if you don't tell him, I will.
Home and Away, next week at 7 on 7.
At UE, we're all about how you use or don't use your car.
But right now, most people who usually drive to work aren't. Most people who work from home are driving even less, and most retirees and commuters are homebound. If you are using your car less, we'd like to give you temporary relief on your car insurance premiums. UE clients, go to our website, follow the prompts, and your saving will be applied. Shopping around for car insurance? The same relief applies to you. UE, you insured.
Have you ever solved a murder? In June's Journey, you can. Refresh your mind with clever puzzles amidst the glamour of the 1920s. Are you up to the challenge? Download June's Journey now for free.
About 2-3 weeks into Noom, I saw a commercial on TV. I go, Noom should have me on the commercial because I eat candy and ice cream all day.
Noom is made for the real world.
I'm a third-generation candy maker.
It's so sustainable, and I don't have to deprive myself. It corrected all of the bad habits that I had fallen into.
From a both physical and mental standpoint, he's just healthier.
I taste candy every day for a living, and if I can lose weight on Noom, so can you. Visit Noom.com and change your life for good.
Save on the Samsung Galaxy S20 5G on Australia's best 5G. Find out more in-store or online by June 30.
If you're looking for a simple home loan with a great low rate, then walk this way. With a Rams Essential Home Loan, you can enjoy both. Backed by our famous silver service. Rams, greater together.
Prepare for your great escape with Jayco. Dealerships are open and ready for your next adventure. With great deals across the entire range, there's an RV for every budget and every adventure. Need finance? We can help with that too. Get ready to escape and visit your local Jayco dealer today.
It's LTV for me.
It's LTV for me.
More and more people are saying it's LTV for me, because the LTV T60 4x4 diesel is from just $27,490 drive away. And eligible businesses may be able to claim the government instant asset write-off. Hurry, offer ends May 31.
Save up to 10% on your first year's premium when you get a new Allianz home insurance policy online.
Okay, done.
Get that Allianz feeling. Search for a quote today.
A giant offer.
$60,000.
Will cause a giant upset. But for who? New The Chase. Weekdays on 7.
On 7 News, shopping shake-up, Target stores to close or convert to Kmart. Stupidity on southeast roads, the exclusive videos. Game-changing rules for when children's sport returns. Buy now or is it a trap? Expert advice on shares. And the nation's cold snap, the outlook for Queensland. 7 News at 6.
The tragic sinking of the Titanic on its maiden voyage in 1912 remains a source of fascination around the world. Now, a US judge has given permission for a salvage company to cut open the wreckage, infuriating maritime experts.
It's the most famous maritime disaster in history. Titanic's grim fate, the subject of one of Hollywood's most successful blockbusters.
We're gonna make it, Rose! Trust me!
The RMS Titanic was on its maiden voyage from England to New York when it struck an iceberg and sunk, killing 1,500 people on board. For 108 years, the ship has been resting 4 kilometres below sea level in the North Atlantic Ocean, untouched. But now that's about to change.
There is great concern that this is just a glorified form of grave robbing.
This week, US Judge Rebecca Smith ruled a salvage firm can retrieve the Marconi wireless telegraph machine that broadcast distress calls.
It was put best by a Marconi historian friend of mine who called it the voice of the Titanic.
The company will cut into the hull this year with the machine to be put on public display once retrieved. A decision met with fury.
Because the ship, the Titanic, is the gravesite for over 1,500 people, they gave guarantees that they would never actually penetrate the hull of the ship. They now have gone back on their word.
Private salvage company Titanic RMS Inc. are the legal owners of the site and say the radio system remains an unsung hero, responsible for countless generations of families. However, experts say the glory belongs only with the brave crew.
I think the unsung heroes are the wireless operators themselves.
It was essentially every man for themselves by that point, which was the tradition of the sea. And yet these two wireless operators stayed at that key until virtually the very end.
Georgia Holland, 7 News.
Let's get a quick check of Friday sport now with Pat.
Kendall, thank you. Hello, everyone. Ben Teo has broken his silence over a potential return to rugby league and the Broncos. As revealed by 7 News last night, Brisbane is close to securing the former Maroon star on a 1-year deal for the shortened NRL season. Teo has been training with the Broncos Junior Academy. He's still contracted to Super Rugby side Sunwolves, who are desperate to play in Australia's new look competition.
If that doesn't happen, then, I'll see what happens. I've been out of the game for a while now, but, I enjoy the training. It just reminds me of the old days.
Brisbane's only interested in signing the forward on a minimum wage deal. Cricket Australia boss Kevin Roberts has confirmed the Australian men's tour of England this year could be back on. Roberts has been in communication with his English counterpart over a possible white ball tour in September, but it will hinge on the success of the Pakistan and West Indies tours scheduled for July, which will be played in biosecure hubs. Roberts also confirmed India's tour of Australia is almost certain to go ahead. One of the most promising gallopers in the country will headline Seven's Saturday racing coverage tomorrow. Chris Waller's boom 3-year-old Canaan, a dominant winner of the Frank Packer Plate during the championships, is hot favourite for the Gunsynd Classic at Eagle Farm as the Winter Carnival ramps up.
I guess he's got to go to another level. What he beat in the Frank Packer Plate, we're not sure.
Seven's coverage tomorrow includes all the action from Randwick Flemington and, of course, the big Eagle Farm meeting. And I can't wait.
I can't either. I wish we were trackside, but telly will have to do. Thanks, Pat. School students on the Gold Coast are using handwritten letters to cheer up lonely seniors during isolation. They're brightening the lives of some of the most vulnerable Australians.
A simple gesture straight from the heart.
Roses are red, violets are blue, sugar is sweet and so are you.
This Year 1 class writing letters for our seniors.
Because they are old and because we love them.
Each handwritten note complete with a personal touch.
I like to play soccer. I am a boy in Year 1.
It's called 1000 Notes of Friendship, a campaign to cheer up the elderly stuck in their homes during COVID-19.
Literally cut off from the community and their friends and their network.
Kids across the country penning notes by the thousands.
We did it a few weeks ago and the students loved the idea so much that they asked, could we do it again?
Each letter is matched and addressed to the perfect recipient.
Oh, isn't that lovely?
Hi, Joy. My name is Emmy Lee.
I know it's a really tough time, but I hope you are keeping well.
It's beautiful.
The campaign has reached its goal, but volunteers won't stop now. They have a new target to reach 1 million notes of friendship.
And I might perhaps send one to somebody else and make them happy. Yeah. How about that?
On the Gold Coast, Danielle McPherson, 7 News.
Well, Paul Burt is next with a look at your weekend weather. Also, the pint-sized baseball pitcher who's a crack shot. And a feather frenzy, the dog that made like a chicken.
Buy now, or is it a trap? What mum and dad investors need to know before rushing into shares. The risks and ways to grow your family savings. Tonight on 7 News.
Good afternoon, Dave Andrews in the Hyundai traffic chopper as we head towards the weekend. Still some big delays on the Logan Motorway westbound from the M1 through to Meadowbrook after a truck went into a barrier earlier this afternoon. The run at the Petrie roundabout, bit of traffic in all directions and a fairly good run up the gateway this afternoon between Nudgee and the Bruce Highway. Hyundai's end of financial year sale is on. Set your sights across Hyundai's range of vehicles packed with the style, technology and safety features you're looking for. You'll have to see it to believe it. Have a great weekend. I'll check the roads again for you Monday.
I have been watching you, Matt.
I've lived in Broken Hill my whole life. Bloody flies. Born and bred in the country.
You got to sort of make your own fun a bit out here. You really got that community spirit.
I am Big Brother, and I've chosen you. Welcome to my brand new house.
I hope I'm a pretty likeable guy.
Matt, it's not about being likeable. It's about doing whatever I say.
It's a game. You got to remember that.
Let's hope you're ready for what I've got planned.
Big Brother, what are you playing at?
Who wins? You decide.
JB
Hi-Fi's Big Screen Bonanza is on. Check out the hottest deals on big screen TVs 75-inch and above. Like a bonus $250 JB coupon with new release Samsung TVs. And free delivery and Walmart installation on LG. Buy in-store, online, click and collect or get it delivered. JB, you've done it again.
We're ready to get back out there again. As we do, it's up to all of us to stay COVID safe. Anytime you leave your house, wash your hands regularly. Keep physical distance where you can. Have the COVID Safe app on your phone. And importantly, if you're feeling sick, you need to stay at home and get tested. Together, we can reduce the risk of a second wave. Stay COVID-free and do the 3.
Authorised by the Chief Medical Officer, Canberra.
Head to Macca's if a little treat is what you need and grab 24 Chicken McNuggets for just $9.95 or a large sundae for only $3. For your Macca's run, contact-free, we'll be here.
Save on the Samsung Galaxy S20 5G on Australia's best 5G. Find out more in-store or online by June 30.
At Bunnings, we're packing our new project bundles to help you stay busy while you're safe at home.
And for us more experienced Aussies, it's so important to keep active.
We've got great project ideas for inside and outside your home, whether you're into gardening,
art and craft, decorating or DIY. So, if self-isolation means you can't leave home at all?
Simply check out our projects online, order over the phone using our dedicated DIY hotline,
and we'll bundle up everything you need.
We'll then deliver it to your door.
Can't wait to get back to the footy. Oh, so good. Oh, there's been a spill. He picks up the crumbs, goes left, goes right. He's got to vacuum the bathroom.
Hot food, just $3 at 7-Eleven.
Bye. Shut up and take my money.
One giant contender.
You've got to 13 questions in a minute, which is going to make you a danger man.
One giant offer.
$60,000. Here I am, David versus Goliath.
All leading to one giant upset.
What happened?
But for who? Knew the chase. Coming up next on 7.
This weather report brought to you by Bridgestone Select for tyres and car servicing.
Good afternoon, Queensland, and welcome to your afternoon news here on Channel 7. It is cold, it is brisk outside and set to get even chillier as we head towards the weekend. Tomorrow, we had some records being broken in the far western districts around Birdsville. Today, dropping right down, nearly single digits, and even around Longreach. I tell you what, very close up there at Toowoomba. We are expecting cooler weather tomorrow as those temperatures embrace the southeast. Let's take a look at the satellite and see exactly what's happening, because you can see a broad level of mid to high level cloud as a jet stream passes over the far northern parts of the country, stretching down into northern New South Wales. We're also seeing a very large high pressure system sitting deep in the southern bight, of course, with that clearing those skies, but there's a deep low. You can see that off Sydney, and that's going to embrace those areas in the southern areas of Sydney, creating some havoc on the coastal communities. We're going to see westerly winds pushing up our way tomorrow as well. No chance of rain, but definitely cooler weather moving through. Have a look around the nation. We're going to see a shower or two from Sydney all the way through to Adelaide, down to 3 degrees for Canberra, top of only 12, fine for Perth and 27. Back to the tropics, a wet day. Cairns all the way down to Mackay. We could be seeing anywhere between 30 and 50 millimetres for tomorrow in a 24-hour period. It's going to be partly cloudy and mostly sunny actually for Mount Isa. Further south, that rain will push all the way down towards Bundaberg, and then it'll clear up as we head down towards the range at Toowoomba, 7 to 13. Back home, it is a cool start with brisk westerly winds, 7 to 19 for Ipswich, 10 to 19 at Bayside, 11 to 19 in the city, and around 20 degrees on the Gold Coast. I think we could drop a couple of degrees off that, Kendall. We are set for a very cool day. I'll see you at 6 with the roast dinner.
It's looking fabulous. See you tonight. Thanks, Bertie. Well, let's check in on what the newsroom's working on for 7 News at 6. And Sharon, the roads, they've been quieter but also crazier.
Oh, that's right, Kendall. And tonight we have exclusive video of some of the near misses and stupid sights on southeast roads in recent months. While there have been fewer cars out, driving behaviour has certainly been riskier. Those pictures only on 7 News at 6.
Also, is now the time to invest in shares?
Well, the share market took a big hit when the COVID-19 pandemic hit, and Australians in massive numbers have been flocking to their keyboards to buy shares. But tonight we'll hear from the experts, Kendall, on whether the price is right or not.
And you've got to look at some radical changes to children's sport.
Yeah, the countdown is on until Queenslanders can return to playing sport under Stage 2 restrictions, and some of the rule changes are going to shock. What can we expect? Those details coming up tonight at 6 o'clock.
Looking forward to it. See you soon. Thanks, Sharon. Homeschooling in recent weeks has prompted a new twist in our school visits program. This morning, newsreader Max Futcher and the breakfast team at 96.5 FM conducted a virtual school excursion for Griffin State School. Teacher and students dialed in on video conference to talk about how the past few weeks have gone and ask Max questions about how the news is produced each night. The general consensus? The kids can't wait to get back into their classrooms on Monday. Let's check in on social media now. Life in lockdown has given 5-year-old Californian Caden Kessler plenty of time to practice his baseball skills.
Don't try this at home, folks.
Well, despite his young age, his pitching is even strong enough to break a watermelon, earning him a sweet treat. And it may look as though this lounge room is doubling as a chicken coop, but no.
It's a chicken dog.
Seems someone got into an argument with a cushion. And to stay up to date over the weekend, you can find us online. Give our pages a like on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. That's our 4 p.m. news for another week. Thanks so much for your company. The Chase is next, then join Max and Sharon for 7 News at 6. I'm Kendall Gilding. Have a great weekend.
Getting my house renovated is like a golden ticket to the rest of your life.
We're here.
We're here. Let's do it.
You ready?
I'm ready. Let's do this.
Right.
Oh. This isn't our house.
Oh my God.
In the transformation of the year.
This is the house of our dreams.
Oh my God.
It's all for Mum.
Oh my goodness. It's so different.
I think this is probably the best bathroom we've seen on House Rules.
They will do their best reno yet.
There's so much to see. I can't take it all in.
It'll be the Hampton-style home of her dreams.
I love everything. Things I never thought I'd happen. And I'll be forever grateful. I don't deserve this. This is just... It's too much for one person to have. Amazing, memorable. Wow. Thank you. Just doesn't seem enough. A part of you will always be in the house with us forever.
Mum's dream home will be revealed on House Rules on 7. The unmissable whole house reveal, Sunday at 7.
These 4 strangers must work as a team to win thousands of dollars. But standing in their way is one of the sharpest minds in Australia, the Chaser. The chase is on. Welcome to the Chase Australia. Great to have your company as always. You know, sometimes we have the classic mixed bag.